Welcome to your most authoritative show, The Pulse. It is live from our studios in Kokomlimle on your digital terrestrial TV because we are free to air on DSTV channel 421 and Go TV channel 144. We are your home of independent, fearless and credible journalism. This afternoon, 7 heads of state from Economic Community of West African States locked up in a crunch meeting called by chairman of the bloc, Ghana President Nana Akufo-Addo, to determine the fate of Guinea. We're live
United Nations, the African Union, and several other countries outside the continent have also condemned the coup.
We're live at the Kempinski Hotel in Accra for details of the summit and a conversation about the way forward to ending the turmoil in Guinea. Also this afternoon, students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology directed to vacate the school premises latest Saturday, September 18, following intelligence gathered by security service that some groups of students are planning to create confusion on the eve of vacation. We have more on this from Kumasi for you on the Pulse. Last President Akufo-Addo finalizes the list of MMDCE nominees expected to be submitted to the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Dan Boche. We're tracking the list for you and will update you on its status this afternoon and also get an essence of what this means to local governance. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. The Pulse is brought to you by Global Communities, Dignilu Affordable Safe Sanitation. Remember, we're also streaming live on YouTube and all our social media handles. Tweet at us with the hashtag #ThePulse. My personal handle is @Denana Aisha. Always a pleasure to host you. This afternoon, 7 heads of state from the Economic Community of West African States are determined to determine the fate of Guinea in an extraordinary summit called by chairman of the regional bloc, President Akufo-Addo, in Accra today. Military Colonel Mamadou Damboya took over power early this month, accusing the deposed President Alpha Conde of economic mismanagement. Today's meeting is expected to take a tough stance on the situation and agree on a roadmap to return Guinea back to constitutional rule. President Akufo-Addo opened the session.
The United Nations, the African Union, and several other countries outside the continent have also condemned the coup. In discussing this issue during our virtual conference of 8 September 2021, we reiterated our condemnation, suspended Guinea forthwith from membership of our organization, and decided to establish immediately to Guinea a high-level ECOWAS mission composed of the chairperson of the Council of States, the Ghanaian Foreign Minister, the Honorable Shirley Ayoko Boucher, the President of the ECOWAS Commission, His Excellency Jean-Claude Brou, the Foreign Minister of Burkina Faso, the Honorable Alpha Bari, and the Foreign Minister of Togo, the Honorable Robert Dussey, to assess the situation in that country and report back to us. The delegation went to Guinea on Friday, the 10th of September, met the military leaders, and saw President Alpha Conde in his place of detention. They have made a report to us, which will be the basis of our deliberations at this emergency summit on Guinea. We will receive also a report from the mediator of the Malian crisis, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, the former president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, on developments in Mali. We are required to take informed decisions on these matters that will have long-term consequences for the stability and the defense of the democratic values of our region. I count on you, Excellencies, to help proffer durable solutions to the crisis. And I'm confident that, as in the past, we will rise to the occasion. I wish us fruitful deliberations, and I thank you for your attention and declare this opening ceremony closed.
Let's go live to the Kempiski Hotel in Accra, where my colleague Elton Brobe is monitoring events for us. Elton, what can you report from the ECOWAS summit? Are the leaders making any headway with regards to resolving the Guinea situation?
Well, so Aisha, what has happened is a closed-door session. So all of us are waiting to hear the outcome of today's meeting. After the opening ceremony, the leaders went to a closed-door session, and my information is they are still considering the report of the Shirley Ayoko Boche-led committee that was tasked by ECOWAS to assess the situation in Guinea and a report to the heads of state. So, and that report is forming the basis for the deliberation which is currently being held behind closed doors. And when they are done, they've set up a briefing room where Ghana's foreign minister, together with the president of the ECOWAS Commission, will speak to the media about the outcome of today's meeting. But what we have been told is that ECOWAS has no intention of reinstating Guinea amongst its fold until Guinea has a constitutionally elected president in the next 6 months to come. That's the information I'm picking, that they will give the Guinean authorities within 6 months to return the country to civilian rule. But we are waiting to get confirmation of that directive. Also, if within the period that they will give to Guinea to return to constitutional rule, they don't see any steps being taken, they will move to the next stage where they might impose additional sanctions on Guinea. These are the issues that I'm picking from the closed-door session that is ongoing, and then also other additional sanctions which may include the restriction of movement between Guinea and its neighboring countries within the ECOWAS sub-region. But then also I've also been told that the Guinean military regime led by Mamadi have their own concerns. Indeed, my information is that even as ECOWAS is holding this meeting here in Accra, they are also undertaking a 4-day national consultative meeting. And this meeting, I'm told by people close to the foreign minister, is to allow the people of Guinea the opportunity to speak out and then decide on the governance system that they want. And for the next 4 days, that's what they will be doing. Indeed, this 4-day conference, which is currently underway in Guinea, I'm told is influenced by a series of engagements that the military regime had with the political parties in Guinea, also civil society groups and foreign diplomats serving in Guinea. And they came to the conclusion that there's a need to open the discussion to get everybody on board, and that's exactly what they are doing. There's also on the table the possibility of restoring the constitution which has been dissolved, and to look at amending certain aspects of it, including the return to the 2-term limit for the presidency, which you know that was one of the bases within which the military moved in to oust Alpha Conde, because he had the constitution amended, which gave him the opportunity to stand for a 3rd term, which he won, aftermath of which led to the upheaval in the country, which eventually led to his overthrow. Now they are looking at bringing the constitution back and ensuring that whoever is elected has 2 terms within which to govern. There will not be the opportunity to have a 3rd term bite at the presidency. And they are saying that these matters will require time and effort to get them out of the way. And until they are able to do so, it will be impossible for them to respect any roadmap that may be coming from this ECOWAS summit here in Accra to force them to comply with the narrative. And if what I'm picking is anything to go by, ECOWAS will insist that within 6 months, the military regime supervise election and get the country back into constitutional rule. These are matters I'm picking at the ongoing summit, even though all that is happening now is behind closed doors. Aisha.
When is the meeting scheduled to end, and what is likely to be the outcome? Do you know?
So the meeting will end with a communique, and the communique will spell out the demands that ECOWAS will be making on the military regime in Guinea. And like I intimated earlier, they are likely to say that Guinea or the military regime to ensure the return to constitutional rule within 6 months, and also the release of the deposed leader Alpha Conde from detention, and also a demand that if he requires medical attention, he is given one, and then his freedom fully restored. And then, but most importantly, to begin the process to have election as early as possible, to have a civilian in place. As to whether they may allow the military regime the opportunity to contest in the upcoming election. These are matters that the communique will spell out. But they've also made it clear that they have conditions of their own. I'm talking about the Guinean authorities. They have conditions of their own, and they will want ECOWAS to factor these conditions in the overall recommendations that will come out after today's meeting.
Elton Brobe is our man on the ground. He's monitoring this meeting for us. We'll bring you updates on this meeting once once they end the meeting. But let's get a better understanding of the issues at stake. Dr. Asa Asante is Director of Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana, Legon. He joins me via phone. Doc, I'm extremely grateful for your time this afternoon. First, let me gauge your mood on how the Guinea situation has traveled. Satisfied?
So far, I think ECOWAS is trying to do its best. I'm encouraged about the effort, and it is my hope and prayer that we get over this issue so that it doesn't become an albatross around our neck.
Now, the ECOWAS and other regional bodies have been accused of not doing much to avert, the crisis. Thankfully, there's a high-level meeting to decide the fate of Guinea. From what you know, what ideally should happen at this meeting?
That criticism is debatable, that the ECOWAS is not doing enough. Let us remember that each state within the ECOWAS bloc is a sovereign state, and it has the right to do things as it pleases. And that there's a very little that the sub-region can do in terms of the ability of ECOWAS state leaders to change the situation. The best they can do to advise and hold, programs like what we're having. But the crux of the matter is that we were expecting the people to exercise their popular sovereignty, which is the right for them to make decisions on their own and to reject anything that they feel it is not in their interest. Of course, we did not get that, and we have gotten to this stage. The good news is what we are experiencing now. The body that is tasked to do this, that is ECOWAS, I'm sure after today, their deliberations will be able to come out with something that is meaningful so that we can address this problem once and for all. Let us remember that it is not easy when things deteriorate and get to a level such as the one we have on our hand now. And then you need the body to come in to, as it were, to restore the order. It's not easy. But at this point, a dialogue, diplomacy, and then, good posture will be able to address the issue. We should be able to get the soldiers to disengage in no time so that democracy is restored. Take it or leave it, we have come a long way, and that we will not want to sit down to allow these young democracies that we have in the sub-region to slip through our fingers. So I am on the side of ECOWAS. I believe that at the end of the day, they will find lasting solution to this problem so that we nip this phenomenon in the bud.
And I'm happy you talk about the fact that the soldiers must disengage, because this afternoon we are learning that as 7 presidents are meeting at the summit to decide on the fate of Guinea. They are also having a 4-day consultative meeting, and we're told that they have their own condition, which they want ECOWAS to factor in whatever decision that they take. How does this frustrate or make the job easier for ECOWAS?
Oh, strictly speaking, if you look at those who are handling the situation in Mali, Goodluck Jonathan has the goodwill, and I believe he will be able to weather the storm. So whatever report that they will table, ECOWAS will take a cue from it and then see the best that would fit the prescription for Mali. For Guinea, the way is what the leaders have started. We want to support them so that they get the soldiers together and they tell them to disengage in no time, because democracy has come to stay. We have come a long way. If you look at the 90s, the 80s, where almost every part of Africa was ruled by people in khaki. That era is gone and gone forever. So now that something of this nature, which we call in political science democratic reversal, we don't want to encourage that, because this is a problem that Latin America suffered over the years. And thank God today they are gradually becoming a stable democracy. And we don't want that to happen in the South region, which has been the oasis of peace and the strive for democracy.
So aside expecting a recommendation for the soldiers to disengage, let me ask you, what are your expectations at the end of the meeting? I mean, what should be the ideal way forward to resolving the matter?
The ideal way is that, one, they should be able to, after dialogue and all that, they should be able to give them time frame within which they have to disengage. And then failure to do that, they must also prescribe sanctions and then deal with it. But I believe that they should also make use of the forces within the global community in general to be able to serve or play the role of gunboating, so that they will, put pressure on those who hold political power today in Guinea to reconsider their decision and give the people their mandate for their true leader to represent them. I think that is the way to go. The leaders should put their foot down. For power, it is not easy when people get it and they want to relinquish it. No. But we must be able to show them the way that what they have now is a stolen one, and for which reason they must be able to leave it and then allow civilian regimes to handle their own affairs. It is my hope and prayer that all these things we are talking about will come to fruition, so that nobody will, or when I say nobody, I'm talking about no country within the South region, will look at Guinea as an example which they want to emulate. That example today by the military is the one that we want to throw into the dustbin in no time.
Kwame Asah-Asante, I'm extremely grateful for your time this afternoon. He's the director of the Center for European Studies at the University of Ghana, Legon, and also a political science lecturer at the Department of Political Science. Let's move on to other issues, because the Director of Communications at the Jubilee House has indicated that the list of MMDCE nominees has been finalized by President Akufo-Addo. Mr. Eugene Ahin, taking to social media on Wednesday, revealed that the said list will on Thursday be submitted to the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development, Dan Boche. According to him, Ghanaians should expect the list to be announced by the minister very soon. His announcement comes at a time when the minority in Parliament and some members of the general public have expressed worry over the delay in the appointment of metropolitan, municipal, and district chief executives by the president. The minority has described the development as unconstitutional and a drawback to the country's decentralization drive. Eugene Ahin has been explaining why the delay.
The persons who are to be appointed MMDCEs are going to be the president's representatives at the local governance structure of our country. So this process has been an exhaustive one. It started off at the regional level. A shortlist was submitted to the national level, and the report by the Dambuchi-led committee was submitted to the president. He has undertaken due scrutiny of the list that was submitted to him. And yesterday, the process was completed. That was yesterday in the evening. And I've been reliably informed that this morning the list has been dispatched to the Minister for Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Government. So, whatever be the case, I'm sure as soon as possible the Minister would duly put out that list. I think the governance at the local level was affected in any way whatsoever, because first and foremost, at the expiration of the term of the outgoing MMDCE, it's the President through the Chief of Staff indicated to all those outgoing DCs to stay put until such time that he's ready to let them go. I mean, just to make sure that there's no vacuum at the local level and to make sure that development continues unabated. I mean, that has been done. But as I indicated, persons who are to be MMDCs are the President's representatives at the local level of our governance structure. So he has to get it right. He can't afford any mistakes. And that has been the reason why he instituted a two-tier vetting approach, if I can put it that way, at the regional level, at the national level. All those things were done. And he also had to satisfy himself, because at the end of the day, they are his appointees, not the appointees of a committee or a particular group. They are his appointees. So he needs to make sure that each person who is going to a district, each person who is going to a municipality or a metropolitan area is well clothed with the necessary expertise and experience to be able to make sure that the agenda he has for the next 4 years is duly carried out. So in terms of a delay, well, I don't see it as a delay because, as I said, there was no vacuum occasioned by this so-called delay. All the old MMDCs were asked to stay put until such time that he gets ready to appoint new ones. So I don't think the delay has occasioned any issue whatsoever at the local level.
I would want to find out if the President settled on the nominated list or changes were made, you would say.
Oh, no. As I indicated, whatever be the case, the committee brought forth its recommendations. If you look at the report that was submitted, there were, in most cases, there were short lists of 1, 2, 3 persons who, in the view of the committee, could become a DC or an MCE. I mean, bottom line is, at the end of the day, they made a recommendation to the President. I mean, it could well be that there could be somebody who was recommended by the committee, who was not recommended by the committee, but the President would deem it fit that, no, this person, in my view, should become a DC or an MC. So, by and large, the President is not bound by the recommendations of the committee. He's not bound by it. At the end of the day, he will look at the list, and if he deems somebody else who is not on the list as recommended by the committee, yes, if he could put in. Bottom line, they are his appointees. So, yes, the report would be a guideline for him, but he's not bound by whatever that document says. They are his appointees. He determines who goes to a district or a municipality or a metropolitan area. So
were there a lot of such changes as the President deems fit?
I can't unfortunately disclose that to you, MFA. But as I said, the Minister for Local Government and Rural Development will put out the list shortly, and once it comes out, I'm sure we'll be able to look through and dissect whatever issues that come out of it.
Eugene Ahin says though the President has taken time to make selections, he won't be surprised if some are still rejected.
Oh, we don't see such uproars, but I mean, yeah, this is a human institution. Definitely, once Party A is appointed, definitely supporters of Party B would be aggrieved, and who knows, it could translate into the let's say things not going according to plan at the voting level. But as I said, we just have to wait. Hopefully, the pains that the President has taken in order to be able to put out this list should, at least it was by consensus basically. So we just hope that they are passed smoothly at the assembly level when voting starts, and we don't have any of these things that have happened in the past occurring. But as I said, it's a human institution. You can't necessarily guarantee dissent, lack of dissent. You can't guarantee that. So once it happens, I'm sure there are ways by which it can be dealt with. But by and large, we expect that the process of voting at the assembly level, once the nominations reach the assembly level, all the voting should proceed according to plan, hopefully.
Well, we've been hearing very soon for the past 9 months or so. How soon is this particular soon that you're giving us this time?
Definitely before tomorrow.
Are we still on course when it comes to the election of MMDCEs?
Well, we all know what transpired when the president tried to make that move. We all saw the position that it was met with by some members of the largest opposition party in the country. I mean, by and large, he's made it clear, even in his rounds in the regions, he's made it clear that, yes, it's something that's to his heart. I mean, once the time comes and once we can reach a consensus, a bipartisan consensus, I mean, the whole country thoroughly agrees on the fact that, yes, I mean, we are ready to elect our MMDCs along party lines, or at least an election of MMDCs. Yeah, he's ready to put it back on the table.
So what does this mean for local governance in our country? Joining me in the studio is Frederick Oduro, who is governance analyst and lecturer at the Ghana Institute of Local Governance. I'm grateful for your time, Doc. Mr. Oduro, I'm conferring this.
Don't worry.
Oh, you? Very soon it will happen, right?
Wow.
Good to see you. But first, let me pick your understanding of what has happened with regards to the appointment of MMDCEs.
Well, there's a part of it that's difficult to analyze. First is the delay. I think this delay has been a little profound. It's taking too long than ever anticipated. But then, as to the jockeying, as to the process, I think by far this is about one of the best processes we've had. Only that I don't think I like the length of time it's taking. Previously, I mean, the law says it's the prerogative of the president to appoint whoever, and then this appointment is endorsed by the assembly members. However, this time around, the president sought to do a lot of consultation. Not only consultation, the process was opened up. Quite a number of people were allowed to present their CVs and pitch for the position. There were some level of selection process involved, first at the regional level, then a number were selected for further interviews.
We even saw mother, father,
siblings, father, son.
All of them wanting to be.
I mean, that was a ridiculous situation.
Very.
But I think that was very good. It's something we've not had before.
Okay.
That whoever believes they are qualified, submit your application. It gives people, I mean, there are so many of the party people and others who may not be in the party, who may think, yes, I'm qualified for this position. Hitherto, there was no opportunity to even put your hat in the ring. So that was a good thing, and I was very happy with that. Then there was the regional level interviews, and then, I mean, some selected people, at least 3 of them were selected for the national level.
Okay.
So if I consider that, I found that to be very good.
Okay.
Because we don't have a system that allows merit, but this allowed a lot more merit to be brought into the system. So that was good for me. But the only hiccup for me is the length of time it's taking to get to this point.
What could be accounting for the delay? Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay,
but I could hazard a guess.
Go ahead.
I mean, let us take it from the president. Normally, we have people who are in office. I mean, these MMDCs, they are in office. Some have got their tenure ended. The president must reappoint. Some didn't do well. Let us be blunt about it. Some absolutely didn't do well. And then even if we were to take the last election as a yardstick, in as much as people would want to blame MPs who lost their seats, we should also understand that the district chief executives had a role to play in the last election. First, their own performance. whether they did well, whether they were able to carry out activities that show to people that this government did well. If their actions showed that the government didn't do well, automatically they were going to be voted out. Then also was to do with the campaign and their relationship first with their sitting MPs. There were reported cases of chief executives who were at loggerheads with their MPs. And for which reason the MPP as a party in government lost some seats. Naturally, if there is going to be a reappointment process, that issue was going to come up. And then there were also some who did not get on well with key stakeholders. Some had challenges with their chiefs, with their constituents, with their party executives and the like. All these factors are going to play. And then there's also the question of sheer competence. Some people are just incompetent. There's nothing you can do about it. So all these factors will come to play.
So now we're told that the list will be submitted to the Minister for Local Government this morning. Our checks before I came on air indicates that the Ministry of Local Government has not received the list yet. But why is this delay or appointment of MMDCE so much of importance to local governance? In the first place, what has their absence done to the assemblies? Has it affected work in any way?
Well, let me say we cannot talk about their absence. They are still at post.
Those whose terms expired.
Those who terms.
And those have been accused of acting illegally.
That is something I want to leave the court to decide.
Handle.
Because, well, my understanding of the situation is different. My view is that legally, whenever there is a vacancy, until a substantive person is appointed, I'm not aware of any law that debars the president from appointing somebody to act. Even ministers, prior to the appointment and confirmation of ministers, there were situations that the president had representatives at the ministry prior to the formal nomination and then vetting and appointment and all that. So, I mean, once that matter is in court, I want to leave it. But the issue I think is at stake is also, here are a number of them who are trying to get back to be renominated or reappointed. When you have been confirmed as substantive, your posture, your ability to work differs from when you are in the process of going through these vettings and getting appointed. People are lobbying all over the place. Some people could even have left their districts and congregated here in Accra or moving about lobbying influential people to get them reappointed. So from that perspective, I think the focus that's needed might be missing. However, the assembly system runs on a process. Assemblies have got their budgets. First, they have their medium-term plans and their annual action plans based on which they prepare their budgets. Based on the budgets, they have their procurement processes. And then there are key offices in place. The Assembly has got the coordinating director supported by heads of department and a whole bureaucracy that supports their work. So I do not think that in practical terms, there is any point that the process stops. But of course, the chief executives have got a role to play. They are responsible for the day-to-day administration of the district. I want to see them being focused on their work and ensuring that the right things are done all the time. That is where there could be some challenges here and there. But by and large, this system does not stop.
But we're told that they cannot take major decisions as caretakers.
Well, that for me was something I had a challenge with. That directive that came at the very beginning of the year. Because we need to understand that there are different laws in operation here. There's a Presidential Transition Act that refers to some of the presidential appointments to do with ministers, to do with to do with boards and chief executives of corporations. But appointment of district chief executives are, I mean, they are found in the Local Governance Act. And the Local Governance Act is explicit as to the tenure of office of chief executives for the MMDs. So my worry is that we may have to seek a constitutional interpretation of this. Otherwise, if you ask me, I am of the opinion that where people are appointed, unless they get to the anniversary, the 4th anniversary of their appointment, in the case of MMDCEs, their tenure in office continues until the expiration of that 4-year mandate. And it is not coterminous with that of the president. So even if there is a change in president, the new president can opt to work with these people until the expiration of their tenure.
That we agree, and that also does not erase the fact that some of them, their tenure had expired. I mean,
well, towards May. Yeah, around May. I mean, the first
somebody
among
like
them,
the mayor of Accra, his tenure expired in March, not May, March.
Was it March? Well, maybe. My memory, I've lost that.
Yes.
So that is it. If the anniversary fell in March, that is when the tenure properly ended.
Yeah.
But from that time until now, if they are there in acting capacity, that is where I would expect them not to take major policy decisions.
Yeah.
But until those anniversaries, I think they had every right to take.
So if they get to that point where they cannot take the major decisions, then you would agree with people who say this could also affect the work of the assemblies?
Again, I would say no.
Okay.
Because the system is there. The assembly this year in 2021, the budget of the assembly, the annual action plan that is relating to 2021 were all approved before by September 2020. So that is going to run until a new budget is prepared.
Okay.
However, if you go into the assembly and you take the budget committee of the assembly, the chief executive is not even a member of the budget committee.
Okay.
The assembly members are still in place. If there's a need for the General Assembly to approve of anything, the General Assembly is in existence to take those actions. So I would not accept that it stops any of their processes. However, I would want a focused chief executive.
Okay.
And I think if you have the challenge of not being reappointed, your focus might not be 100%. And we can't have that kind of situation.
You know, the issue of electing MMDCEs came strongly again on the table with the delay of these MMDCEs. I mean, how important is this electing of MMDCEs? And is it the single most important thing we need to actually resolve some of these issues with delay and all the other challenges we have with MMDCEs?
It will solve quite a good number of the challenges.
Okay.
But there's a whole gamut of reforms that we need to make if we want our local government system to respond to the developmental challenges of the country.
Okay.
As we speak, what kind of local government system are we running? I dare say that the system we are running even predates the Constitution.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to understand the structure that have been put in place, we can see it from the PNDC law 207. However, we've tried to move on. Now we have a new law, Local Governance Act, which was made in 2016. However, I still think that the foundation of that law is grounded in the pre-Constitution law that we had.
Okay.
And we haven't made any significant effort to move away from the high level of centralization within the local government system.
Okay.
And electing chief executives by popular vote will be one of the surest way of preparing ourselves towards a fully democratic. And now we are not only talking about democratic local governance, we are talking about democratic developmental local governments.
Okay.
And these are some of the steps we must start with. That is one sure start. But there are many other things we need to do.
Okay, what are those things?
Well, That is one, having a democratic system. But then our local government system is overly service-oriented.
Okay.
We have to start looking at it, making it more developmental.
Has it been politicized already? Even as we wait for the election of them. So this election, are we going to do it on party basis? Because I remember that's what brought about the confusion from day one when the President Akufo-Addo wanted us to go that way.
I think first and foremost we should pray and hope the President will bring back that discussion.
Okay.
Then the second point is that in Ghana today, if anything can succeed, we need bipartisan agreements.
Okay. Is this something that will work?
If there is nothing that cannot work in this country, if MPP and NDC agree.
Okay.
I believe there is a need for robust engagement by these two political parties to look at the way forward for our local governance. Because let us be very truthful to ourselves. The system has not given us the dividends we expect from it. For 30 years, I mean, since 1988, 89, up till this time. Let us ask ourselves what support we've received from our local government system. What development can we really see in the ground? There are challenges. The democratic part of it is one. There's also the funding part. How much funds are made available? How resourceful are the MMDs? Then, how responsive are the district assemblies to, let's look at one key program of the government, 1D, 1F. The assembly system is not too responsive to some of these key things we need to do.
Okay.
And that is the way to go if we want development. Because these things are going to create employment, it's going to support income generation, it's going to do so much. So we need to look at all of them in a holistic manner.
So what do you expect now that we're told the list is out, even though we've not cited the list yet?
Well, I do hope it comes out formally. The next steps will be the approval process. And that place is also one area that I have my challenge.
Okay.
My challenge is to do with corruption.
Okay.
People are going to make demands on chief executives before they vote for them, even if they think they are good materials. There may be some people who may not be so good, but because they can pay, they will get through. I think that is one major challenge in our local governance system.
How can we cross this hurdle?
How to cross that hurdle? Well, partly assembly members are also not being well looked after in the system. I think there's the discussion we need to have about supporting assembly members financially. If we need to provide them with some level of enhanced, not salaries, but even the allowances, if you can have it enhanced. And then if the source of paying for the allowances can also be borne by government, that could also be helpful.
But if they have a lot of money to give out to become MCEs and co, then why should they demand more payment?
It depends. The more elevated the assembly, the higher the demand. But the issue is that if we are supporting assembly members, if we are providing them with financial support to carry out their duties, I think that level of expectation will go down. But for now, they receive virtually nothing. Some assemblies even have challenge meeting, the statutory 3 times meeting in a year is a challenge for them. Some subcommittees hardly ever meet. So these are all challenges that they are going through. But we need to resource the assemblies to perform their functions.
I'd like to thank you so much, Frederick Odro, for coming on the Pulse. He is a local governance expert and also a lecturer at the Ghana Institute of Local Governance. We'll take a break. When we return from that break, students of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology directed to vacate the school premises latest by Saturday, September 18, following intelligence gathered by security service that some groups of students are planning to create confusion on the eve of vacation. We have more from the Kumasi campus for you on the pulse right here. Do stay tuned in. Welcome back to The Pulse. The Catholic Bishops' Conference in the Jasikan Diocese of the Oti region has engaged parents and stakeholders in fishing and cocoa-growing communities in the diocese on ending child labor and abuse. The church has instituted a committee to ensure that child rights are protected and incidents of child labor are reduced in the diocese. According to the church, it is within its responsibility to shepherd the child from exploitation. Peter Senu is our man in the Oti region. He now reports.
The church, as part of its corporate social responsibility, has set up a committee which mandate is to ensure the protection of child rights and eliminate any existing form of child labor and abuse. The church has engaged parents and other stakeholders from fishing and farming communities in the Jasikan Diocese, which covers almost the entire Oti region, on taking steps to reducing incidents of child labor and abuse. Speaking at the ceremony, the Regional Director for Social Welfare, Innocent Agbolusu, explained the position of the law on parental responsibility to children. He also mentioned some circumstances that can put children at risk of labor and abuse, adding all must emulate this act by the church.
Parental duty and responsibility. Some of us just give birth to the children, then we leave them to take care of themselves. It is a common practice to see a man marrying about 4 or 5 wives, and then every woman is left to take care of her child. Worst of all, you see some of these children taking care of themselves. So even during school hours, they are busy. They are weaving baskets, they are doing things that will make them generate money to pay their own school fees. The law is saying that everybody who has a child has the responsibility to take care of him or her. Other churches and religious sects, the Muslim, even the traditionalists, I think that they must emulate this within their fold in order to protect children who are God's gifts to us.
According to the chief fisherman, Daniel Vaje, from Tapabutuasi, which is one of the fishing communities along the Volta Lake, though the number of child labor on the lake is reducing, the punishment regime for those who traffic and abuse children on the lake is not deterrent enough.
This international justice mission, when they are there arresting the people on the lake, they now come down the attention of the child labor on the Volta Lake. Yes. When these people go around arresting the people, they didn't give them any punishment, so they think it's something they can continue doing, because when they have been punishing them, it will stop drastically.
He also alleges the absence of any education infrastructure on the islands can be blamed for the abuse of children on the lake.
The overbound communities, you not see in the school there, and then you see these politicians who come there, oh, today next year we'll come and do this, next year we'll come and do this, next year we'll come and do this. Fortunately, you will not see them again until the 4 years they will come back.
Cocoa Board in the Jasikan district also admits there are incidents of child labor on the various cocoa farms, but reduced to the barest minimum as they encourage women participation in cocoa farming.
On a scale of 1 to 10, I say in our cocoa farms we have reduced it to about 2. That's even to the west, and we have engaged a lot of cocoa farmers in programs that empower them and to let them know the consequences of child labor.
Reverend Father Pius Biamse speaks for the diocese. According to him, this is just one of the social interventions from the church aimed at raising responsible adults.
It is our own future. So if our children are not doing very well now, then how will our future be? And as we can see, the school dropouts, the number of girls, the number of students in the GHS, the number is dwindling. So this we need to do something.
He added, the church is also concerned about the recent crimes and murders involving children. Hence, the need to guide and secure them for the future.
The recent killing, like what happened in Kasua, adolescents killed their own kind. And we know that our children are also exposed to these things, the mentality of being rich quickly, and social network and the internet. They are learning a lot, and mostly what they learn is bad. So we are concerned about the behavior of some bad children in the country now.
Peter Sanu for JoyNews.
From Oti, let's go to Bono, because the regional minister says the growing unemployment situation grappling the youth could be dealt with through entrepreneurship and educational reforms. Justino Wusu Banahene insists a mandatory entrepreneurship experience for the youth and educational reform that emphasis on technical vocational education training would make the youth employable. The minister was speaking in Sonyai at the inauguration of the Bono Regional Youth Parliament on the motion. Young people entering into employment in Ghana, their barriers and solutions from the youth perspective. Precious Semevo has more.
The Youth Parliament is an initiative enshrined in the 2010 National Youth Policy of the National Youth Authority. It is aimed at giving the youth a platform to learn how to express their views, offer constructive criticisms, and above all, participate effectively in the decision-making process on developmental issues at the local level. At the inauguration of the Bono Regional Youth Parliament in Sunyani, the Regional Director of the National Youth Authority, Fatih Bamba, called on the youth to make good use of the non-partisan platform.
The importance of the Youth Parliament is to engage the youth in decision-making in governance, basically, so that we can call duty bearers to answer to questions that need redress. Because we've realized that there are a whole lot of things in communities and in the region that most of the young people are not informed. They are not aware of what is going on. So with the Youth Parliament concept, it will help them to really get to know what is going on in these communities, in the region. Then they can equally inform the layman or their peers, so that it wouldn't create any confusion in the system. Effective and better communication helps for everybody to have peace of mind in their communities. And this is something that we want to integrate beyond the Bono region. We want to do that of Ahafo and Bono East region.
Speaking on the motion, young people entering into employment in Ghana, the barriers and solutions from the youth perspective, the Bono Regional Minister, Justin Ausu Banahene, said an entrepreneurship experience and a reform that gives priority to technical vocational education training would make the youth employable.
A mismatch of skills has been found to contribute to the rising youth unemployment. I must say, Mr. Speaker, one of the surest ways of dealing with youth unemployment phenomenon is through entrepreneurship, that's a mandatory experience, educational reforms with emphasis on technical, vocational, and skill training to make the youth employable. Many of our young people in our tertiary institutions have great business ideas, and if provided with the right nurturing and sensitization, they could easily set up their own businesses after school and succeed. I want to tell society that today in our world, looking at our environment, with the raw materials that surrounds us, if we are able to enhance on TVET vocation, on TVET skill ability, we will be able to employ ourselves.
The Speaker, Kingsley Asari Abuaje, and the Youth Parliament leadership spoke to JoyNews.
So from the deliberation today, we realize that it is not the issue of the government alone, but we, the youth in particular, should also mind our business up.
One of the contributing factors could be related to job hopping.
Our curriculums, they will make moderations in them by adding skills, entrepreneurship skills to it.
Precious Semevo, JoyNews, Sunya.
Displaced traders at the Kumasi Central Market are protesting what they describe as poor plans by the Metropolitan Assembly to resettle them at the racecourse market. City authorities over the weekend asked the traders to move to satellite markets to pave the way for the second phase of the Kejetia redevelopment project. The yam and meat sellers are, however, in a standoff with the second-hand clothing sellers as they all lay claim to the same trading space. Clad in red and black, the aggrieved traders said they're disappointed in the poor management of the relocation. Love FM's Mona Lisa Frimpong was there and has joined us with more. Let's stay in Kumasi because students of the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology have been directed to vacate the school premises latest by Saturday, September 18. The directive issued by the Ashanti Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah is due to intelligence gathered by the security service that some groups of students are planning to interrupt the peaceful condition in the school on the eve of vacation, September 17. According to the press statement dated September 15, this directive has been put in place to ensure that peace and sanity are maintained on the KNUST campus and that students leave on vacation day to their homes in peace. However, foreign students and others who have received authorization from the school's management are those permitted to stay on campus after the vacation date. Let me share a bit more of that statement signed by the Regional Minister Simon Osei-Mensah, who is also chairman of RECSEG, with you. And it says, in recent times, there have been several reports of indiscipline within the student body on the campus of Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. Major amongst these acts of indiscipline is the existing and unhealthy rivalry between the University Hall and Unity Hall, which leads to acts of vandalism. We are all witnesses to the reported incidents that occurred at KNUST Great Hall on 3rd July 2021. Intelligence gathered by the security services revealed that some groups of unruly students are planning some disturbances on campus on the eve of vacation, and that is the 17th of September. It is instructive to remind the student population that the declaration of university campus as a security zone in November 2018 is still in force, and therefore it is an offense to demonstrate within the security zone. In this regard, the Regional Security Council has put in measures to ensure that peace and sanity are maintained on KNUST campus. The measures include, with the exception of foreign students and students permitted by management of the university to stay, all students are to leave KNUST campus midday, September 18. 2 security personnel will be visibly stationed on the university campus to ensure peace and security and prevent any unruly behavior by any group of students. These are excerpts of that statement issued by RECSEG. The Regional Security Council wishes to advise students to concentrate on their studies, complete their programs without any distractions. It is for this reason that parents and guardians are toiling day and night to give them a bright future. And it says, as a region, it is our collective responsibility to ensure sanity, peace, and security on campus, and also ensure that hard-earned image of the KNUST is not tainted nor destroyed by a recalcitrant few. And those are excerpts of the letter, the statement that was issued by RECSEG. My colleague Ohemen Teria, who's been monitoring this for us, joins me via Zoom right now. Hemi, what can you tell us from the ground?
Thank you, Aisha. I must say there's heavy security deployment here on the campus of KNUST, including the police and national security and the BNI. And I must say, with the presence of the police can be felt on campus, they have been doing foot patrols. First, the police officers led by the KNUST district commander first visited the University Hall, that is Katanga Hall, and to acquaint themselves with the environment and also to announce their presence that, yes, they are on campus and monitoring developments here. And they were greeted by wild, some sort of jubilation and jeers from the students, some of them who were still at the hall of the residence. And beyond that, they have also been doing foot patrols to all the entrance and the entries at KNUST to acquaint themselves with what can be done to prevent, for instance, movement of unwanted persons on campus, especially those on motorbikes. And beyond that, they have also divided themselves into groups to station at vantage points to be doing a random search of people that they suspect of being with different characters apart from being students. So these are what exactly police has been doing here on campus. And behind me is the FPU armor vehicle that is also stationed here to support the operations of the police on campus here. The security, police, school authorities tell me the national security and BNI officers are also complementing the efforts of police and then the campus security here. So for university authorities, they have done everything possible to avert a similar occurrence in 2018 that led to destruction of property on campus. When I spoke to the university relations officer, Dr. Norris Bequin, he told me in that particular instance, the incident in 2018, the university, lost property worth over 3 million Ghana cedis, and they wouldn't want that incident to repeat itself. And that is why this time around, they want to be proactive to prevent the situation. I spoke to him earlier. We can listen to him.
The Regional Security Council and management of KNUST have picked up some signal that some students, mainly supporters of those who have affiliation with the two major rival halls, Unity and Katanga, are planning to cause some mayhem. Simply, they intend to fight. And because of what happened in 2018, this university has been declared as a security zone. The security zone means that you cannot do demonstration, people cannot gather and do anything which is aside or outside academic work. We have to battle with COVID from 2020 to 2021, and we are managing COVID and then academic work at the same time. So if by the grace of God we have been able to finish or bring the end of this academic year to a close with almost 80% of our students completed their exams, and we have about between 20 or less than that percentage who are going to finish by Friday 17th, the students actually don't have any business staying around. So the Regional Security Council, based on the intelligence that they have picked up, have directed that right after examination, the students should vacate the campus, in exception of those who have special permission to stay around a bit. And this category of students are foreign students who have to make travel arrangements to be able to travel outside the country. And then some final year students who are going to defend or have not yet defended their project works. And this category of students are supposed to go to the office of the Dean of Students and seek special permission to be able to stay around and complete their academic work, which is a project work, and then or project defense, and then also make their way out of campus. So they have said in their release that there will be police presence or security presence on campus. We have also strengthened our own internal security. They will be deployed at all vantage points, including off-campus hostels, to make sure that life and property is protected, and that no student or no disgruntled student is allowed to cause any form of destruction to the properties or the life of anybody in this university. So that is the directive.
For me, listening to you, you foresaw the danger and you planned. But how threatening was the threat that you picked? How threatening was it?
You know, honestly speaking, about 2 weeks ago, there was some clash between some supporters of Unity and Katanga because they said some Unity students went to wear their jacket on the statue which is in front of the Katanga Hall. And they were throwing flying stones all over the place. We had to bring in the police to calm the nerves of these students. And because they did not get opportunity to vent their spleen on each other, they are planning that when they are done with the examination, then this is the time to show each other where the power lies. Wow. And we cannot allow that to happen. This is an academic environment. We train people to be able to acquire knowledge and then to build a good character for the future. And this is not a place for fighting. This is not a battleground. So we are saying that once you are done with academic work, you can go home. If you want to go home and go and fight, that's a different matter. But they cannot be allowed to stay. Nobody will be allowed to stay on campus, except for those people who have a special permission to do so. Yes.
Oh, I see. It's good.
So for the past 2 weeks, there have been security presence around, especially not because of this, but also because of examination. You know, during examinations, we do have a lot of security threats. People, because students have to come to campus and study and live deep into the night to their various hostels. We have constant security threat of people trying to snatch people's mobile phones, their laptops. So anytime we are having a mid-semester or end of semester examination, usually we have these security patrols around. But we are going to strengthen this from Friday to ensure that we do not permit those people who have planned to cause havoc to do so.
So, Ohime, how are the students taking this?
Thank you. For the students of KNUST, they are okay with the arrangements put in place by RESEC and then school authorities. A while ago, when I spoke to some of them, they did indicate that with this new arrangement, it will go a long way to improve their security on campus. First, I engaged the Student Representative Council. The Vice President is Maurice Efa. He told me, as far as the SRC is concerned, they are comfortable with the arrangement and they will support the RESEC and the school authorities to implement this new arrangement. We can take a listen.
SRC, that RESEC was communicating that they had intel like of simmering tension between the two halls. But I would say that we've not gotten that intel. They are the security agency, and if they say that they've gotten an intel which is also, whatever they're doing is also in line with national security, I think that we have nothing to say, but we would support what they have proposed so that we wouldn't get anything that would be a problem for the school and also for Ghana at large. Yeah.
What are the reactions on the students, especially knowing very well that they are writing the exams very soon, they will be on vacation? What has been their reaction?
Okay. School would have vacated on Friday, so there is no extraordinary reaction. Just that the issue of bringing the security presence on campus. But as I said, it's a matter of national security. We are just the SRC, so if it's in line and in interest of the country, we would support it. There was an issue that we had, and it was with students who have their defense after Friday, and we've communicated that to management, and they've addressed it, that if you're a student and you have a defense after, you can seek for permission from your HOD and also through the Office of the Dean of Students, and they'll give you permission to stay. And I think that has been the progress and the development so far.
I saw a communique around yesterday, and they were asking us to stay indoors. Yes, and then we should also go home immediately we are done after our papers here.
How do you feel? Do you feel safe? Are you okay as far as your security is concerned?
Oh yes, I am very okay. I don't have a problem with it at all. I'm very much okay.
Oh, even in the midst of these planned, attacks?
Oh yes, since the policemen are around, I'm okay because I know they are going to enforce security here, so everything will be fine.
Personally, I don't think it is affecting me in any way because if there's, let me say, a rivalry between these two people, it's basically between the two people, not other people. And then it's not the whole hall. It's just a group of people who are having these issues with other people. So if they are having the issue, it's not affecting me in any way.
And there's also heavy presence, heavy security presence, national security, BNI and the police, they are all here. Does it, make you somehow uncomfortable?
No, it doesn't make me uncomfortable at all because I think during these examination periods, we have theft cases, increased theft cases. So I think if the police and security men are around, it actually helps us.
Recently, my friends, they were attacked by robbers, and then I think with the presence of the security men, we will be safe.
But are you aware of this, increased rivalry between Katanjis and then Kontis, where we are told they are even planning to attack each other on campus? Are you aware?
Oh no, please. When you say Konti and Katanga, it's not everyone in the hall. No. It's not everyone in the hall. And then this container Katanga, for them to, I don't know anything. Just that I read a press release from the regional minister, and then they say intelligence, so I'm not aware, and I'm not even sure of it.
Ohime, you indicated that there's heavy police presence. Are the students in any way agitated?
They say they are not agitated. Like I said earlier, for today, they have been very, very busy writing their end of semester exams. The school authorities have already indicated that 80% of the students are already done with the end of semester exams. So they expect them. And we also came across some of them leaving campus today. And as we speak, some of them are still living. So with the entire student population, with 80% of them being done with the end of semester exams, the indication is that the remaining 20 will continue the exams between today and tomorrow. So tomorrow, when they are done, then you expect all of them to leave, with the exception of those who have defense, thesis to defend in the school. These are students who will remain here. But when I spoke to them, it was a normal day, a normal thing for them because they have since 2018 lived with the security personnel here on campus after the campus was declared a security zone. So for students, it's okay to be moving, walking side by side for instance, with uniformed police officers and even ununiformed police officers. And so they are comfortable and they are going ahead with their end of semester exams without any interruption, knowing very well that the increased presence of police and security on campus will go a long way to impact positively on their lives here as their security will be strengthened.
Ohemen Teria is our man in Kumasi monitoring the situation at the KNUST for us. We have updates for you in our subsequent bulletin. Let's stay on longer on education because ranking member on the Education Committee of Parliament, Peter Nochu, says failure of WAEC to name and shame culprits in a recurring examination leakages is problematic. The members of Parliament said WAEC must institute punitive measures to stem the tide.
Surprised because WAEC had given every indication and assurance that they were going to make sure that there will be no leakages this year. The leakages come about as a result of human interference or human interface. No, they deal with people who handle the questions, the question papers, the printing, and all those things. So they gave us assurances and indication that they were going to make sure that the human interference or interface was safeguarded, that those who will handle the papers will be people who will they will make sure that they did not or nobody had access to the questions. Then we advised that whenever they were able to identify the culprits, that is those who leak the papers, they should punish them, make their names public, and the punishment given to them. And last year we expected that they would have done that. They have not done so. So if you don't name and shame, that means whatever is happening, you are not making the effort to eliminate them. You don't handle the issue administratively. Okay. You can hand them over to the police to prosecute and any other thing that will be meted out to them. But if they continue to keep the names to themselves, the punishment they meted out to the people to themselves, this will continue. It will not deter others from doing the same.
Two teachers have however been arrested at the Ahamasu Islamic Senior High School for attempting to leak Monday's English language paper 2 in the ongoing WASI. The arrest was triggered by external supervisors from the West African Examination Council, who is said to have spotted an invigilator, 33-year-old Musa Muhammad, who was taking pictures of the examination question paper with his phone. Correspondent Peter Sene gave details of this arrest earlier on News Desk.
They were taking pictures of the last Monday's English paper 2 specifically, to be sent out for another teacher who is an English language teacher to help the students with him. But as we speak, the one who committed the crime, Musa Muhammad, he has been sentenced to 65 penalty units. My check revealed that it is about 780 Ghana cedis. That is when you convert the penalty unit. But the Felix Oklu, who sent him to take the pictures for me, he is the English teacher who sent him to take the pictures for him. He has denied any knowledge of Musa Muhammad's action, and so he is to reappear on the 11th of October, that's next month, before the KBB Magistrate Court. And so that is what we know has happened.
So apart from the teacher, the 33-year-old who has been nabbed, the other one is claiming innocence, just to clarify.
Exactly so. That is what he claimed. He said before the court yesterday.
Where exactly are they at the moment?
Well, I'm sure that the one who was sentenced would have met his sentencing requirement and would have been maybe home by now. But the other is on police inquiry bail, and so I'm sure he's also, so from the court he's supposed to provide 2 sureties as part of his bail requirement, one of whom should be a controller and accountant general payroll. And so I'm sure that he would have met the requirement as we left the court yesterday. So currently, maybe on police inquiry bill, Benjamin.
We've heard WAEC respond to some of these alleged leakages and other matters arising. How has the school itself been reacting? What have they said?
Well, the headmaster himself was in court yesterday, and the magistrate was not happy with his approach to, so to say, supervising his subordinates to as it were, ensure that children do not copy, let alone teachers trying to take pictures or attempting to help students in the exam room. And so, well, the headmaster has been defending his position as the only supervisor, because he said, according to WAEC, the students are less than 250, and so he could be the only supervisor. And so he said he went out to take his nose mask when the incident happened, and so he has been defending his position, but the court wouldn't accept that. And so the court, I don't know what they will be doing to him, but he's been told that he's been negligent on duty from the courtroom yesterday. But the school, everybody is tight-lipped on what is happening, except the two that have been put before court, and then the headmaster making some comments in the courtroom yesterday.
That was Peter Seno with updates from the Oti region. Now, the first ever episode of Joy Prime Explore aired on Sunday night, and it was a healthy mix. Mythical tales of dwarf-filled forests and honey-filled testicles, coupled with some rather surprising revelations about the president's family. The travel show aimed at showcasing the hidden and little-known tourism cultural attractions from all across Ghana and abroad made its debut at 6 p.m. last night with a trailing episode centered on the Akwemu Kingdom, one of the oldest Akan monarchies. The show concluded on a revealing note as the curator of the Akwemu Museum, Nana Semenshia, disclosed to the show's host, Kojo Yankton, some interesting details about the lineage and family of President Akufo-Addo. Listen.
This house is very, very special because it's the second in command in Akwemu State. When the king is not there, that is the house that rules administratively. And you know what? Akufo-Addo is a royal in that house.
Wait, the president?
Sitting president.
Uh-huh.
The sister is the queen mother. And the junior, the auntie was the queen mother before, and now the sister is a queen mother here.
I see. So that means the president Akufo-Addo is actually an Akwemu?
In the Akan system, we go seriously matrilineal. So, Akufo-Addo, by all intents and purposes, is an Akwemu, a typical Akwemu.
So his mother is from this house?
Yes. The grandmother migrated from here to marry in Achem. So to Achem, he's a grandson to the stool. But here, he's a royal. A royal.
Wow. That's fascinating. Ghanaians have always believed him to be an Achem.
He is not. I say emphatically that he is not. That is his patrilineal system. And maybe that is even grandfather, because the father comes from a Popon.
As if that wasn't enough, the Akwemu historian also revealed a fascinating family link between the current president and a former one, late J.J. Rawlings.
Rawlings' mother is from the very house.
What?
Yes. The Agbuti, the KNUST, the Heymans, from Keita are all from this house. And today, that is their house. That's their royal house.
So Rawlings' mother is from here?
Yeah.
Akufo-Addo's grandmother is from here. That kind of makes Akufo-Addo Rawlings' nephew.
Yes. It's a fact. And tell them, because I went to Bajeme, I saw Rawlings and I asked him, are you not Akwemu? He said, oh yes, I know I'm an Akwemu. And Akufo-Addo comes here, he says he's an Akwemu.
I am as shocked as the host of the show. We'll take a break on the pulse and we'll bring you the very latest from the sports world.
As per information that we received from the three-member committee of the Ghana Football Association appointed to select a new coach for the Black Stars, we are supposed to hear the new announcement on who replaces Sika Akono in the next hour, because the committee did state that would have 72 hours to appoint a new coach. And so in the next hour, hopefully we'll be finding out who would be steering Ghana's ship to the AFCON 2021 and also trying to steer the ship to the 2022 World Cup to be hosted in Qatar. My name is Ore Kwampofo, and as we count down to the new coach of the Black Stars, Mubarak Haruna of the Joy Sports team joins me. It's a pleasure to have you, Mubarak.
Thank you, Oreku.
So far, what we do gather is that Milovan Rajvac is the front runner and he's expected to be announced as the new coach. What's been your initial reaction so far?
A supposed nostalgic appointment, because this is a coach that has not been active. He has been dormant since 2019. So why would the FA think of bringing such a coach on board? Because Ghana, we are in a precarious moment in the qualifiers because we lost against South Africa. The double header against Zimbabwe is absolutely crucial. We are playing 4 matches in the next 7 weeks. You can't gamble that. We have to bring in a competent guy, someone who is updated with issues, who can steer us through the qualifiers. Someone like Milovan, there's no doubt about his track record. He has done very well in his first stint with the Black Stars. But that is the first stint. That is not now. 2010, we are in 2021. That's about 9-10 years ago. It's such a long time. We can't trust this 7-year-old at the moment.
You speak of trust, but if you were to trust, put your trust in anyone to carry such a job in such a short period, you speak of having, in 7 weeks, the Black Stars would be playing 4 very crucial games. If there's a coach out there to be able to help them navigate through this difficult period, it has to be someone who knows the ins and outs of Ghana and, knows about the job and excelled, doing it. So wouldn't it be more of a risk going for a newbie as opposed to Milovan, who calls Ghana his second home and does really enjoy coaching the team as well?
The last time he was in Ghana was at the latter part of 2010. That is a very long time. Things have changed. We have a different squad now. We have a different system. We have different people. You can't even compare the love of Ghanaians in 2010 and then now. Now, obviously, things have diminished. So we need someone that could quickly ignite the trust and the passion of the people. And for me, per what I've gathered and with the people I've spoken to, people are really dying to see Hervé Renard in Ghana to coach the Black Stars and not Milo.
Of course, the case for Hervé Renard is has to do with monetary limitations. Currently, what he is earning, I think due to COVID, is around $70,000 per month with Saudi Arabia, and he's expected to get more in terms of if he does qualify them to the World Cup, which he's close to, and there's a huge bonus package for him. He was actually on 100,000 due to COVID. That was slashed down. So the numbers are pretty high. We're hearing that Milovan would be taking between 45,000 to 60,000. We're not too sure of the number yet, but obviously it's going to be a difficult start for Milo, because you look at the scenarios in 2010 and now. You've spoken of the love of Ghanaians, but let's focus on the quality of the squad. He had an under-20 side that had just conquered the world and conquered Africa. He has an under-20 side this time that conquered Africa. Didn't go to the World Cup because of COVID. Do you think perhaps he might be relying on some of these young guys? Okay, so let's do some comparative analysis here. In 2010, despite the under-20 team winning the World Cup in 2009, in 2006, in the World Cup, he had some experienced players who were in their prime, who were at their peak, who were playing top teams in Europe. Sule Muntari, Asamajan was emerging, was doing very well, Michael Essien, top players in the 2006 squad. They were progressed, or let me say, they were selected in the 2010 squad as well. So they were there to mentor the children and then to give them motivation. As things do stand now, how many top players are we having in our team? Who are the leaders in the team? Andre Ayew, people are not happy with his performance, but he's the captain of the team. So Milo will really have to make some tough decisions. But so many of the big players are not performing at the moment. Criticism here and there for Jordan Ayew, for John Boy, for Andre Ayew, the captain, for a whole lot of players. And for me, it's very difficult for Milo to just come in and then hit the ground running. Even with the young players, how many are starting at the moment? How many? Kamal didn't just play his first major match for the Black Stars in the game against Ethiopia. How many young players are in the team? So it will be a very difficult job for Milo to come. It will not be as easy as it was in 2010. Mubarak doesn't think that would be that easy for Milovan River to assimilate himself back into the Ghanaian fold when it comes to the Black Stars, or time certainly would tell. In terms of time, the Ghana Football Association has just about less than an hour to announce the new Black Stars coach. We'll be keeping them on their toes because they said that they need just 72 hours. That would be around 5:45 p.m. In case there's an announcement, do keep out your eyes on various media channels. That's my JoyOnline/sports or at Joy Sports GH on Facebook and Twitter for more information as the story does break in. My name is Oriek Wampofu, and that's the sports for now.
That's where we draw the curtains on the pulse this afternoon. My name is Aisha Ibrahim. For more news, log on to myjoyonline.com and you'll find a lot of stories, including let's find durable solution to the critical crisis, Akufo-Addo to ECOWAS leaders who are in a summit. There are other stories there when you log on to My Joy Online. I've indeed enjoyed my almost 2 hours stay with you. Enjoy the rest of our programs.
Hello, my name is Nathaniel Atto. You can catch up with all the fun and inspiration on the Joy Sports link here on Joy 99.7 FM, together with all other shows over and over again. It's very simple. All you need to do is go to myjoyonline.com/podcast and relive all of those fun moments over and over again. Joy 99.7 FM, your radio for discerning listeners.
Joy 99.7.
Good morning and welcome to News File.